Basil Chapman, what's going on?
Hi, Tom. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Yourself?
I'm very good. And talk about timing. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to have a workshop, basically a webinar that discussed exactly what's happened since the March 23rd low, and why I thought that this is going to be a very important period. You can see what's happening here between the Qs, the NDX 100, the Dow trying to rally, the S&P still up. This is going to be a very interesting week, and I think we're going to get a lot of information out of the end of the week. So
we definitely have some divergence, and even that Russell, you know, has been the weakest one, but those banks and the regional banks are getting a little bid. I know, it's intriguing.
So this morning when I said to subscribers from my opening call, I said, I don't want to start adding a whole bunch of new things right now, because what we're looking at is we are trying to get into positions that could be favored right now if the tech sector starts to take a rest. Very simple. At the same time, I wanted to actually get into the IWM, just even if it was for a few days. But I say, you know what, we've got in our what I call the portfolio, we've got positions. We started a new position just the other day, and if the Russell 2000 small caps is going to work, then this cyclical area should also work. And we're very lucky because this particular stock is up 5%, well 5.34% as we're speaking, on a day when a lot of the indices are giving back big gains. So this is very selective. One of the reasons why I wanted it this time is that from the March 23rd low, where we went long the down, then we added in the diamonds itself at 100. That was about, I think, the 4th of April, around about 210. What are they trading at right now? 268. So there's been a very nice gain there.
Huge.
What are we going to do? I mean, it's still a position I'd like to keep because we're in at such a good level. So these are things that I need a little time to think about it. And in the meantime, we've only got long positions, but I'd say we're going to start thinking of the short side probably from tomorrow. And this is very important. Why? Because in the patterns that we look at, look how strong. I'll just show you one pattern here that goes to the daily and the weekly charts. And this is what I discussed in the last webinar. I said it'll be very important. And the reason why I'm discussing it now is we're going to see, because if the trend changes to the downside, you use the very same technique, but you turn it upside down. And on this side, you can see in the daily chart of the Dow, there's this red dashed line, and there's a green dashed line, a little mini channel. And what over the years, what I found is, I call it the Chapman Wave inside a track repellent zone, or at the bottom we call it the propellant zone. And the reason is that, look, every time the Dow's come close to this the pink line, it couldn't hold it. Even today, it went right up to the green line, and now it's pulling back. And that's how important. So this inside track repellent line, working on the daily chart. And the reason why I've said that I think we should go a little higher in the Dow, because we've got a peak B, and we usually expect a C and a D. But here's the other thing. Here's the weekly chart, the exact same pattern. Look, there's the declining trend line, dashed green line. There's the dashed pink line. And look how this is on a weekly chart, and look how it's worked here as well. It's restrained the price, it's held it back, and yet at the same time, we're looking at the technicals in the weekly still very strong, technicals in the daily very strong. So that's what I say that to subscribers. This is a really good time. We're going to find out what's overbought and could have a pullback. We're going to find out what's been lagging. You just spoke about the financials. Let me just get to that. XLF. Look at the financials. A nice move, but not a great move. But it does show that money, it's interesting. Money's always trying to find a home where it's treated best. You've seen that in the gold and silver stocks. We've seen that in the tech stocks. We've seen that we have a tech stock that, in fact, made a new all-time high today. It's gone from 70 where we got in, and it hit 96s today. At the same time, we also have a tech stock that did very well, and now it's starting to struggle. We're still in a nice profit, but I'm going to be looking at this very closely, because if the tech sector, if money starts to come out of the tech sector, what you normally see is money pulls back. It doesn't go immediately into the new sectors. What happens is they try to find a home. They try to find, like a sieve. You see which pieces of grain have gone below and which are being held up. And this is the same thing here. You're going to see which stocks are holding well, which stocks are just showing that they are they need a rest. So I think this is a very important time. And the chart patterns that I keep talking about, I'll just go back to the Dow to show this, the cup formation that we've looked at. It's worked very nicely for us. And you can see that the 9 and 14 period moving averages have held very well, even in the daily chart. So there are all these techniques that I like to discuss as I go through a webinar. That's why I usually make it 90 minutes, because it's really like a class that I'm giving. And we're looking ahead to say, what are we going to look for in the next 3 months? What has worked really well for the past 3-4 months? What could be tied? What's maybe starting the same kind of breakout patterns that we had seen earlier? Is anything like that happening now? So I think it's a really nice opportunity to find, just to have a little patience. We don't have to, just grab everything and say sell. No, there's some things that could hold up well, some things that you actually want to hold, even though they're going to pull back. And then there are some stocks that you say, fantastic move, we better lighten up. And that's what we're going to be discussing. What's lightening up material and what's holding very nicely.
And folks, it's so easy to come into this workshop. You just go over to our website at TFNN. You're going to see it right in the middle in the featured content. The opening call by our man, Mr. Basil Chapman. You hit subscribe. You can get it for a month, 6 months, a year, all with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Workshop is going to start at 4 o'clock and 48 hours from now. And 48 hours from now, it's hard to comprehend that we're talking about, the 23rd of July?
Almost wrapping up July. Can you believe it?
So
they just fly. It's just unbelievable. I guess as you get older, time goes quicker. That's the only rule that I've done.
But I've heard from plenty of, like these young folks too. I mean, that's time flying. Maybe we're just accelerating up, man. You never know. I mean,
it could also be that we just get so much news now. Every hour of every day, there's just an outpouring of news. Maybe that's part of it.
You're going to love it. Listen, man, you have a great night, safe night. We appreciate all the work you do, Basil, and look forward to the show tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Tom. Have a great
Thanks,
evening.
man. Stay right there, folks. Come right back. Dow up 147. NASDAQ is up 92. S&Ps, they're fighting like crazy, folks, okay? S&Ps are only up a half a point, man. They don't want to give it up. Come right back.